Last spring, I learned about a way that they teach math in Japan that I thought was super interesting. The teacher doesn't do a mini lesson and then practice problems like we do here in the United States. Instead, the teacher hands out a problem or puts a problem on the board, and all of the students try to solve it. And when they think they have it, they bring it to the teacher, and the teacher will say, yes, you got it right, or more likely, no, you've made a mistake, and help the kids find the mistake, and then the kids go back and work on it some more and bring it back to the teacher, back and forth. So the person doing the most work is the student and not the teacher. I really like this in the frame of our growth mindset that we're trying to teach students, that making mistakes is okay and it's all part of the process. I also like it because it helps kids understand much more deeply what they're doing than just practicing steps over and over again on a worksheet. So with this in mind, I have created these one sheets. You can see that it's one problem with a whole paper to work on, and it has some scaffolds to help students. So if I was going to use these, I would begin a lesson by saying, we're going to work on multiplication, because these sheets are all about multiplication. And I would say, what do we know about multiplication? And kids might say, well, we know multiplication is about equal groups. We know that multiplication, the first number is the number of groups, the second number is the number in each group. They might say something about arrays. This is really a chance for the students to share everything they know about multiplication. And I would be writing it on my board as they shared. Then I would say, okay, so if we have a multiplication problem, what do we need to know in order to solve it? And kids might say, well, we need to know the number of groups, or we need to know the number in each group. And I would write that down on the board as well. With these pages, if I had a large number of students in my class who were going to work on the same page, or if I had some kids who need extra help, I would fill it out for them. Other students, I might have them copy it from the board onto their paper so they have it. And even other students, I might say, you can look on the board. You don't need to copy it down. So there's lots of differentiation there. There's also differentiation in that this multiplication set has 40 different pages. So in a classroom, you might have some kids who are starting off on 1 digit by 1 digit multiplication, and you have other students who are starting off on 3 digit by 2 digit multiplication. The idea is that they go and work either by themselves or with a partner and figure out the answer to this question. I also didn't just put give me the answer, I put show me how you could find it. So they're really thinking about showing their work in a way that they wouldn't necessarily be with a worksheet that just had a bunch of multiplication problems on it. When students finish this, they would come up to me and I would give them feedback, either everything looks good and I would give them the next sheet in the sequence, or why did you do that? Tell me about what this means, to try to help them find their own mistakes, and then as a last resort, pointing out their mistakes to them. Each of these has 2 problems for each step in the sequence so that kids can struggle through it once and then hopefully have more success the second time. They're also editable, so if you have a student who needs more than 2 times, all you have to do is change those numbers and you can print out more of them. It goes all the way from 1 digit by 1 digit to 2-step equations with 3-digit multiplication. So this is something that covers multiplication from where you just are introduced in it in 2nd grade to 5th grade and beyond, really. So you have a whole bunch of opportunities to serve every student in your class as an individual with lots and lots of differentiation. I hope that this was a helpful explanation of this product. You can find it in my store. I really encourage you to give this a try with your students. When I did it with my students, they loved it. They didn't even want to go to recess because they wanted to keep figuring out these puzzles that were in front of them. All right, thank you so much.